So what exactly are CAFOs? CAFOs are concentrating animal feeding operations, where animals are kept in confinement instead of being raised on rangelands, pastures, or fields. CAFOs are agricultural meat, dairy, or egg facilities that account for about 15% of total animal feeding operations in the United States. These are livestock operations where animals are confined for at least 45 days in a 12-month period. These animals might also not have access to grass, water, or food during the normal growing season. Corn is very useful because it can be broken down and placed into different objects. This can include sodas, batteries, and many different other fuel types. Corn is fed to cows through either dried kernels, silage, or distilled grains. Grain is fed to cows because it's cheaper and allows the cow to grow faster, with the average cow eating about 20 pounds of grain a day. These animals are often abused through confinement and physical pain alterations, like tail docking, dehorning, iron hot branding, castration, and debeaking. E. coli, a bacteria commonly found in the intestines of warm-blooded animals, has symptoms including a fever, diarrhea, and stomach cramps. The amount of E. coli found in cows has slightly increased because corn-fed cows have a harder time getting rid of E. coli found in their intestines. E. coli can also enter the cow through contamination of troughs and other foods because manure may end up getting into the sources. But how is E. coli, one of the kids' leading causes of illness and death, getting into our food sources?
I'm so bored of eating this boring old meat.
Well, boy, oh boy, do I have a solution for you. Introducing Wagyu beef, a grade 5 amazing fatty beef that'll leave your taste buds wanting even more.
I'll take your entire
Our Wagyu is fed sake and other beer brands in order to break down their muscle tissues and let them gain even more fat to create that delectable marbling. Don't tell anyone, but sometimes they can't even stand.
This is beginning to sound like the better option.
It's fine, because meat buyers are willing to pay top dollar for this fine quality meat.
E. coli gets into our food because when the intestine is cut at the butcher, it may leak onto the meat that is then packaged and shipped. And because there are so few butcher houses, majority of the meat are sent to these couple that are currently stationed in the U.S. This means that if one piece of meat gets it, this E. coli may leak onto other pieces of meat, leading to millions of pounds of meat being recalled at once. One example of this is the Valley Meats ground beef recall. This prompted thousands of pounds of ground beef being recalled due to E. coli. One way of avoiding eating contaminated meats is by cooking your meat all the way through. Certain legislation has been passed in order to limit the amount of E. coli found in food and prevent further loss of life.
Policies like the E. coli Eradication Act of 2009 give the government the power to test facilities to see if they can meet the standard for the amount of E. coli found within their meat products.
These farms may threaten closure due to legislation like the Food Safety Modernization Act of 2010. Passing legislation to help prevent or slow the spread of E. coli is very important to people, such as Barbara Kowalewski. Barbara lost her son, Kevin, at 2.5 years old to E. coli. Not only is E. coli impacting society, it is also harming the ecosystem. Due to things like runoff, large amounts of manure filled with E. coli are being washed into lakes. This can cause major amounts of eutrophication, leading to the death of fish in these lakes. They can also become contaminated and die from E. coli poisoning. Why exactly do people like farmers deem it necessary to use things like CAFOs? CAFOs are seemingly needed in order to feed the growing population. Larger corporations will also pay farmers because they see more profit in using things like CAFOs over small and more environmental friendly options like small farms.